All right, so here we are, the first vendor I'm having the privilege of speaking with. Fortunately, there's not too much foot traffic. Why? Because their attention is not just down at the 40 by 20 safety session tent, but it's also next door in the education hall, where, by the way, I haven't told you yet, but the link, John will post it, of course, beneath his channel. You can go to the Grassroots, their YouTube channel, website link for all of the lectures, and also Monster Gardens, who are broadcasting all of the real knowledge that's firing on all cylinders, like a free university right here at this show. But let's get down to business here. The first vendor I'm having the privilege of speaking to, and her name is Alex, right?
Yes, I'm Alex.
And she is the queen of the sun-grow.
Sun-grown.
Queen of the sun-grown. And, you know, that's brilliant, because sun-grown cannabis is the most naturally grown, the best. It's, you know, you want terpenes, there ain't no LED, there ain't no grow light technology, there ain't no indoor tech that's going to come close to giving you the horsepower that a fully sun-grown anything, flower, herb, fruit, vegetable, you want it to taste the best, always working with nature. Tell our viewers about what you do, Alex.
Oh, I am a cannabis educator. Can I hold this? Yes, all right. So basically, my mission, I was a commercial grower for 6 years, and I saw the market just kind of fall apart in California. I went to college here locally at Sierra College, got a degree in natural science, worked for the Nature Conservancy here, was involved with UC Davis Master Gardeners, Master Composters, and really got plugged into the community, the Cannabis Alliance. I had the second licensed farm here in Nevada County when we went regulated rec. So
this lady has a brain worth picking, and you mentioned Sierra College, and that's not where the chemotocracy has fused itself to the educational system. That's where hippies go to learn.
Yeah, exactly, all the hippies. So I am now traveling the country teaching living soil classes. I do consulting, education. I'm really trying to help farmers reduce their overhead, use dry amendments, get off those bottled nutrients, and
deadrients, we call them. This is the DFZ. This is the deadrient-free zone, just like you have the DMZ between the two Koreas. This place is a place of sanity right here. Yesterday we had a fascinating event happen at one of the speakers. They were from a soil analysis lab, and they started talking about PPMs and, you know, minerals, and then they said this applies to soilless media. And I asked politely, well, 80-90% of the folks attending this are crafting living, rich in organic matter soils, and they're not doing soilless medias. So how does that translate to what's going on here?
Yeah, that's a little strange. And one thing that I'm really trying to push is native soil. In the ground. We're talking about biodiversity. We're talking about terpenes. Well, where do you get the most of that biodiversity? In native soil. That's where you're going to get that terroir, you know, that influence of your microhabitat. We can try and bottle all of these microorganisms, but nature has everything there readily available. Soil in the ground is 55% minerals. Soil, the potting mix is not soil. You have to add all of those minerals back in every single freaking cycle. Bring the native soil, put it in your containers, because that is free nutrients. That is your savings account. That is how you're going to create the most living, diverse soil and happiest plants.
So that was a UC Davis Master Gardeners, and that program is still going?
Oh yeah, the Master Gardeners are amazing. They have a free radio show every Saturday here. I used to host.
You were a host on it? What's it called?
Master Gardener and Friends, KNCO.
And people can just find that on podcasts and just Google it.
iHeartRadio, and you can call in and ask your gardening questions. They are focused on all gardening, not just cannabis specific. Right. So really fun. I mean, there's Master Gardeners in every single county in the United States. So reach out to your local ag extension office, and that will get you involved with more, gardeners of all types, all shapes and sizes. So. Yeah. Really cool.
I think that's fantastic that you surfed your way through that agricultural studies part of your career that's ongoing, and that you came out with that mindset.
Oh, yeah. Well, I love smoking weed, so.
It dissolves our egos, right?
Exactly. And a little psychedelics, right?
Yeah. And you were handing out some of these delightful little organic gummies, right? I just, Workhorse Gummy, I've already enjoyed one of Alex's.
Yes, definitely. So one of the things that I like to teach farmers is how to reduce your overhead, increase your profits, and by doing that, you're going to be happier, obviously. You're going to have a little more money in your pocket, but creating a value-added product like bubble hash infused gummy bears is something that you can easily do. And Nevada County just passed legislation that allows farmers to create non-volatile extraction on farm, on site. So this is going to be huge for cannabis growers. Nevada County has deep roots in the organic back to the land movement. In the 1960s, all of those back to the landers came and they settled here, homesteaded, and I'm a little biased, but I think the best cannabis in California comes from Nevada County, and it's been grown here since the 60s.
Let's talk about some of the products that you recommend for the people that you consult. So before I do that, you're available for consulting now?
Oh yeah, definitely available right now, consulting, commercial or home grow, whatever size. I really am just trying to help everyone. And so I am featuring this Bigfoot mycorrhizal product this month. Yep, there we go.
And again, dry, concentrated mycos. And you can tell there's no fooling Alex, just like there's no fooling anyone in this bio belt of superior growing techniques out of this area. So when you pick something like this to tell your clients to use, it's a really valuable product, right?
The thing with this Bigfoot mycos is that it is inoculated on biochar with worm castings and kelp and humic from leonardite. So it has everything to kickstart and get going, that relationship with the roots. Most mycorrhizal products are inoculated on an inert powder.
So they're more isolated. So this is giving the biology a bed to ferment.
Everything is there, present.
Right.
So I have a online store, and I'm featuring all of my favorite products, the most affordable, scientifically proven products that help your garden out. So I just started working with these guys. Super awesome. His father is actually the mycologist who breeds those spores.
It's like the carbon web of life in your soil. You know, what's the point in just having, say, like a biochar there, which doesn't have all the associated mechanisms, the fungal activity that you need? You're giving the carbon digesters a carbon base to start to work with.
And biochar has 50% of the carbon, the source carbon, retained within it. When you look at compost, only 10 to 20% of that source carbon is actually stored within the material of the compost. Naturally, just regular burning charcoal ash only retains 3% of that source carbon. So biochar is amazing. I just wrote an article about it. You can find it on my patreon.com/Queen of the Sungrown.
Patreon.com/Queen of the Sungrown. Support talent, folks. Money's like manure. Spread it around in the right places. So yeah, that's great. And they can get this when they Patreon you? Is that how they buy the Bigfoot? They get a deal on it on the Patreon?
Oh yeah, I have a e-commerce platform store, so you can go and all of my favorite products are featured on there. You can order it directly. I'm really excited. I'm going to be launching an online platform because I've had such great success with these in-person classes, and I just can't go everywhere. I want to offer it to everyone, though. So I'm working on a whole variety of online classes at an affordable price for home growers. Obviously, I'm still available for commercial consultation as well, and teaching entire employees if you want your whole team to be up on living soil. Or my next class is IPM, a practical approach to integrative pest management. So there's so many things that we can do to increase our yields, increase the quality, and it starts with knowledge. Knowledge is power. The more you know, the more you grow.
Amen, Sister Alex. It really does. The IPM, we could talk all day about that. You care to elaborate for a few minutes for the GYG audience, since everything's still quiet here and we have this space to ourselves?
Let's see. So basically, integrative pest management, right, is about a cultural, a biological, a physical practice. It is everything that you do and keeping these SOPs, standard operating procedures, in place so that you are being consistent. I like acronyms.
Consistency is king, or queen in this case. It really is. People think that they can just go to a grow store and buy some magic chemical bullet and that's going to deal with their pest problem. That's the furthest thing from the truth. You have to be consistent. The vitamin L, the love that you put into your crop. Consistency, I'm really glad you brought up that word.
Yeah, consistency. And so Foliar Friday. Every single.
I like this. Oh man, Alex, the acronyms are brilliant. I love that. That's Stoner Proof Foliar Friday by 4:20 on Friday.
Yep, and Tea Tuesday, a part of that. You got to keep it going. But basically starting that preventative measure from the very beginning and increasing that microbiome, your biological community is the first line of defense. IPM, having a strong, healthy plant. I mean, Trichoderma is the most aggressive species of fungus out there, and it will outcompete any other pathogen. So why aren't we foliaring Trichoderma? It's safe all the way through flower.
I never knew this. See, I learn something new every day. The more we know, the more we don't know. And Trichoderma, that's a standard staple and affordable too, right?
Very affordable. I buy a 50 milliliter bottle for $35 from Custom Biologicals. I will have that on my site.
This lady has all the tips. Support her, because I'll tell you what, these referrals, they're not even giving you kickbacks. I can tell how authentic you are.
No, this is what I use on my farm, and it's $35 for a bottle that treats like 10 acres. Why would you buy a cannabis-focused product that costs $75 to treat 180 gallons?
Now, Alex, isn't that the standing joke now of the grow store industry? These cannabis grow-focused products that have always been such a blatant ripoff, and which sadly now, in today's non-canna economy, folks realize that you can't just go into a grocery store and drop $1,000 you don't have any more out of your pocket to buy magic bullet products that are 10 times the price that they need to be, and use chemotocracy fueled solutions, right?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, even when you're talking about synthetic chemo, all of that, what is that? That's supporting the war machine. Why do you think we have all of these nitrogen products? It's from creating chemical warfare. It's all the backstock product from that. So quit supporting the war machine, create your own products, buy bulk amendments, work with nature, build up your native soil. Everything, plants have been around for 250 million years. We've only been here, 200,000? We don't need to teach plants. Plants will teach us.
You're drowning me in goosebumps, lady. This is great. I already owe her for therapy. This is awesome. This is some really good content. I'm really honored to have visited you. And going back to IPM, so Tea Tuesdays, what kind of tea do you like to make?
I'm actually working on my own product to bring to market that is called Immunity, and it is something that I use in my garden every week, and that is boosting your plant's natural immune system, right? Yeah. So we want to increase jasmonic acid levels because that is the plant hormone that is responsible for stress response, and it also communicates with all the other plant hormones. Well, how do you do that? You increase chitin. You know another source of chitin? The cell walls of fungi. Fungi are actually more closely related to you and I than to plants. So basically, insect frass is a great source of chitin. Having that relationship with the mycorrhizal fungi in your roots is going to give you an increased amount of chitins. It's proven to increase that jasmonic acid. So what does jasmonic acid do? It increases your stress resistance for heat, drought, salt, any kind of biting insect.
For humans as well, or for plants?
For plants. And jasmonic acid then converts into methyl jasmonate, which is a volatile organic compound, and it also increases terpene production. So the insect frass, we've got kelp in there, yucca, fulvic. The combination of those three increases your superoxide dismutase. Well, and that's the thing that I feature a new recipe on my Patreon every month. So I share this recipe obviously freely. Some people would prefer to buy the product already done.
Yeah, people love convenience.
Mm-hmm, exactly. But I love breaking down the price. So last month I did a price comparison of, there's a popular product called Yahweh probiotic, and it costs $65 for 1 gallon. I broke that down, $6.31 if you make it yourself. Getting a little...
Wow. So yeah, we're now getting some, it looks like we're now getting some foot traffic, so forgive us, people are leaving another class, but this lady can give you these classes every month?
Yes, every month. So come on, join the Patreon, Queen of the Sun Grown. I have a ton of information available, and I have a sliding scale. I have different price tiers for whatever you can afford, because like I said, knowledge is power, and it should be accessible to anybody.
All right, Alex, one thing that I forgot to do, my job description as sent by John from GYG, was to ask everyone this one simple question, but it's a brutally difficult question, I find, to answer. What is the Queen of Sungrown's tip, one item only, on creating the living microbial matrix that we all crave, creating beautiful soil. Soil that's so awesome you could make love to it. What is your top tip for great soil biology?
So that would be increasing your microbial diversity by providing them the habitat that they need to thrive. If you consider your living soil as an ecosystem, every single ecosystem has a carrying capacity. And that carrying capacity is basically the population that can survive with the amount of resources that are within it. So looking at your soil as this system, providing those resources, and adding biochar to your living soil, because it is basically a microbial hotel. Microbes love it. It also holds on to nutrients. It increases cation exchange capacity. So I would say increase your microbial diversity by adding more microbes and biochar.
By giving them a carbon base for the carbon digesters to colonize and work with. I've likened, you're the second person that championed biochar. Like, besides the vitamin L, the love, and being a field-based farmer and all the, the feel-good, warm and cozy elements of crafting a soil. Biochar is I think it's a greatly underlooked ingredient, don't you?
Oh yeah, definitely. Some people believe that the Amazon rainforest is actually a permaculture forest that was cultivated, that those species of plants were brought in there by the indigenous tribes. And you know what we find? Biochar was added to these soils, and it is still there.
Terra preta.
Terra preta, yeah, exactly. And it is still there over 2,000 years later, the same biochar. I mean,
how can you beat that? Success leaves clues. 2,000 years, Terra Preta has been there and producing, obviously, one of the world's most diverse bioregions of all time. That's incredible. I just learned yet another new thing. Like in the last five minutes, I learned yet another item. So that's your top tip. Now, as far as preserving, are you talking about like using mycorrhizae? There's a dominator species in like the Bigfoot, right? And so preserving what's there, you want those dominators to be able to gobble up any of the bad guys. You want to preserve things for the good guys, right?
Oh yeah, definitely. And so trichoderma is one of those dominators that just takes over. And so that's why I believe trichoderma is such an essential tool for your IPM kit. You should be spraying trichoderma. You should be using it, especially late flower when you have mold issues that can come around. Trichoderma does a really good job. If anyone has grown mushrooms, they know that that's your biggest competitor with your mycelial network, right?
What a great problem to have.
Yeah, I mean, you will get a contaminated monotub, and then you won't grow your mushrooms, though, because trichoderma takes over.
Right, but that means trichoderma, if it's able to battle mushrooms so successfully, think of what it's doing to the bad guys.
Yeah, fusarium, powder mold, botrytis, all of those things are outcompeted by trichoderma and bacillus.
And a sensibly priced, packaged, instead of something like you were talking about earlier that's just ridiculously overpriced, like not a grow store. Isn't it ironic, the grow store industry, how it's populated with brands and products that are beyond silly how much you spend on them when, if you just explore, a little bit, you dig around a bit beneath the surface of that dirt, you can find living microbials for an affordable price.
Exactly. I mean, microbes are everywhere. A lab and these products didn't invent them. They're not proprietary. They're all over the place. And so I really like indigenous microorganisms, composting, going out and collecting leaf mold, getting that diversity from the ecosystem that you're in or that you travel to, because they're already there. Why pay for it?
Yeah, why pay for it, folks? So this lady she'll show you for pennies per dollar, just out of a labor of love. And when's your next episode on like IPM, for instance?
You know what?
Check your schedule.
Yeah, I'm working on an IPM tour in May.
Okay, so check back, tune in to the website, and what is it again?
queenofthesungrown.com.
That's right, that's a stoner-proof name. I'm putting that into my bookmarks.
And patreon.com/queenofthesungrown.
Yeah, and I'll be her first new Patreon today. I really will. So stay tuned for Alex's IPM series. There's going to be more than one class?
Yes, there's going to be 4 classes in May. It's going to be just a practical approach to IPM and focused on outdoor.
Awesome. Remember that, folks, and that's right when outdoor season begins, too.
Right when all the bugs hatch. What better time than to get your IPM plan right in the beginning?
She's here to help you and not hurt your pocketbook.
Thank you.